Well, Keith, this year we passed the 1 year anniversary of your arrival here. How have you looked back on the last 12 months?
I think, to be honest, I can't believe that how quick it's gone. I think there's been massive changes inside the changing room. The mentality, the characteristics, the dynamics that we've brought into the football club, I think was needed. I think on paper, when I first joined the football club, there was a strength on paper that obviously when you come in, you're third from bottom, there's a reason why it's not performing. And it's identifying where, as an incoming manager, where we needed to improve. And sometimes it's one of those, we needed new personnel.
You can pick any stat you want to explain progress, whether it be league table, whether it be results, whatever. But as a manager, how do you sort of assess the overall progress that's been made over the last year?
I think the statistics don't lie, but and like you said, then they can get, you can get misled, or they can tell a completely different story. I think as a team now, I think we are, as a changing room, I think we're very competitive, and I think in every game we will be very, very competitive. I think there's still more to come from the changing room. I think I'd probably say we're on an upward curve. I think when I first came in, on the back end of a relegation, which I've done before, I've gone into football clubs before that have just been relegated, and you need very quickly to get that upward curve and get that upward spiral. And sometimes it's the easy way to do it is to bring in new players that haven't been associated or familiar with the circumstances before, but they've got to be good players. And I think probably the biggest thing is the recruitment that we've been able to bring in the players with good dynamics that will continue that upward curve, in my belief.
How important has strengthening the infrastructure been? I'm thinking of Ned Kelly coming in, Dan Watson coming in, and also the young players, the pathway through. How important have those factors been over the last year?
I think the infrastructure of a football club is massive, but I think first and foremost the infrastructure, the working relationships with the CEO, the club secretary, the chairman, was I think vitally important for me. When I first came in, I needed to have people that I could work with, people who I could communicate with, people that had an understanding of my job, my role, and where I was at the starting point when I came in. So having that infrastructure to work with was a massive help. Then it's a case of my side of it is bringing in people. Colin West, somebody who I've known and worked with for a long time, somebody that knows me, knows how I am and how I like to work, knows the environment that I want to work in, sometimes knows when to stay away from me and keep quiet, because I will bite his head off, but other times he knows when he can give me the nudge that I need to, sometimes to calm down, sometimes to get a little bit more animated. So having Colin alongside me is massive, because he knows me, he knows a good side of me, he knows the side that people don't want to see as well, and then it's about building relationships with some of the current staff that we had. The addition of Dan Watson, again somebody who I've worked with previously, again knows the standards that I require from the goalkeepers, the goalkeeping department, but knows the standards I require from the staff. I think we're very lucky and very fortunate to be able to bring in David Kelly, again somebody who I worked with as a player, and then he went on to coaching, and I think he's had a fantastic coaching career previously, but the experience that he brings in and his knowledge to the group, coming in as a development coach and first team coach as well, I think it's a massive aid to the football club. And then also the staff that I've inherited, Nacho, Pablo, Bob, and I've got to mention Adam. It's one of those. Adam is, if Colin's my right hand man, Adam's my left hand man, because every day, it doesn't matter if we've won 3-0 or had a negative result, the lad's got a smile on his face because he's glad to see you. He loves coming to work. He loves the environment. And it's one of those. It's one of the things I mentioned in pre-season to the new players that came in. If anybody upsets Adam, they upset me, because Adam's got an affiliation with this football club whereby he wants everybody to do well, have a working environment that they feel valued in, and he's a massive part of that.
When
anybody else I'm missing?
No, I think you. Once you mention Adam, you've covered it.
Oh,
you've covered it.
Alex, me analyst. Alex, his workload has probably gone up 20-fold from when we came in, because we're all internet buffs. We're all on watching games, and his workload now is we want clips on everything. We want to see everything, and again, but that's the type of people that we are. But I think Alex, again, he's somebody that I think has responded to the new regime. We've got him to lead and be more of a figure point of the presentations, and I think that's part of his development as well, being able to put on the sessions, or put on the video sessions that we've identified what we want to see to the players, and then he's growing in his confidence, being able to command the respect of the players, because he's giving out information that is vital to how we want to work.
When next, and we've spoke about this upward curve, it's far from a finished article that the squad at the moment. Where next? What's the next sort of stage of the development to keep that upward curve moving?
Well, I think it's a continued progression and continued getting value for money. I think there's different ways of getting that upward curve into a football club that has been going in the wrong direction. One is you can throw money at it and on paper bring in better players. My understanding when we first came in was, we're not going to throw money at it, but we're going to build, and then you need consistent, reliable, dependable characters brought in, players and staff with a hunger and a desire to work. You've got to enjoy the environment that we're trying to create, and I'm massive on the environment. I don't go in the changing room every day. I don't need to be in there every day, because as far as I'm concerned, my office is the training pitch. But the characters that I know that I've got in that changing room, it's an enjoyable working relationship whereby excellent banter, some practical jokes that do go near to the line at times. But I know when they come out onto the training ground, they're ready to work, and I think that's massively important. They enjoy their own environment. They know that the staff are welcome in their environment, but the training ground is where we do our work.
You've been through a couple of transfer windows, of course, and there's been a lot of movement both in and out, and a lot of big characters, big earners that have moved on. So you've exercised good housekeeping, but you've managed to keep the upward curve going at the same time. That's not always an easy balance to meet. No,
and again, I don't. It's not being disrespectful to the players that have left. I think some of the players have gone on to ply the trade at higher levels, and excellent. And again, I think the biggest thing is that I haven't fallen out with any of the players that have left. They knew when I first came in. The football club needs to go on a journey, and some players will come on that journey with us. Some players will find a different route, and again, we wish them well.
We spoke earlier about there's a whole number of stats. One stat that I know will please you, just to show the progress within a year. Last September, the side really struggled for goals. This September, 7 different scorers in the 8 goals that were scored in the month. So that's really a sign that it's not just 1 or 2 players dragging this squad along. It's actually a combined, a real team, a real squad effort. Yeah, and I think there's still more goals to come from the whole squad. I think we're not going to be based on a one-man team or a two-man team. We will score goals from set pieces. We will score goals from open play. I think it was excellent for Sean McWilliams last week to get on the score. I don't know how many games has Sean played now. He's getting his 70. Yeah, 65, 70 games in his first goal. And again, he's enjoying and understanding the role now. It's not just racking up appearances. Now we're looking for the actual content of his performance. And one of the things that we highlighted with Sean is he needs to get forward more. He needs to get in goal-scoring positions more, and he needs to score more goals. Which, and again, I think that will be the first of many goals that he will score for these supporters and this football club. Just finally, Keith, the supporters have got to know you pretty well over the last year through interviews, events, etc. Maybe a year in, tell us one thing the supporters might not know about you. One thing about Keith Curle. One thing they won't know about me, probably away from football. I like probably two passions. One's cooking, and the other one is probably a weird one, decorating. I went home, I got a phone call from my missus, and she told me that she spent the morning stripping. So I've rushed home and getting a little bit all excited, and then I got faced by my bedroom needed wallpapering. So, but I was happy to do it with the wallpapering. Thanks, Keith.